I won't be a slave.
Oh, didn't you know? Never trust the wicked. When the cards are on the table, they tell wicked lies and fables. Unable to be dropping the prophecies like we be. Flipping off through the scriptures like Exodus 15 and 3. Ooh, the Lord is a man of war. The Lord is his name. How could you think to even add much more? Or is you lacking understanding? Because these pork chop preachers be lying but still demanding. Looting money from your pockets though. But never to teach you when they reach you that the son of God's a so-called Negro. A woolly gray afro and dark. That's where we step in to tear these lies apart. Scripture after scripture, let it rip you if you wicked. The Israelites are coming from Eastern to Pacific. Scholars are prolific with the scriptures like Solomon. All praises to the Most High that he chose us, now we in.
Here's a little something about the hidden truth. Somebody should have told you about the hidden truth. What? You can't get away from the hidden truth, cause it's real.
What's real?
It's real.
That's right.
Here's a little something about the hidden truth. Somebody should have told you about the hidden truth. What? You can't get away from the hidden truth, cause it's real.
What's real?
It's real.
That's right.
As it is written, the truth is sitting inside of a simple mind of a holy nation that doesn't know that they're divine. So let us take this time to run the line on the future. Prophecy of how the devil seduced you. There's more religions than there are pigeon dung, but none of these religions can tell you where you truly come from. This message is for the ones they call minority in the USA ghettos up under Satan's authority. The vast majority of my people don't have the true knowledge and understanding of the Bible, that they're the Jews. That's right, Christ and all the prophets have a dark complexion. So any foes of the facts don't have no protection. We make connection with the past with knowledge of the ever-present Bible to help my people with their suicidal tendencies, cause they tend to be led astray. We looking for that one trait, headed for the payday.
Here's a little something about the hidden truth. Come on. Somebody should have told you about the hidden truth. What? You can't get away from the hidden truth, cause it's real.
What's real?
It's real.
That's right.
Here's a little something about the hidden truth. Somebody should have told you about the hidden truth.
What?
You can't get away from the hidden truth, cause it's real.
What's real?
It's real.
That's right.
Brothers and sisters, welcome to another exciting edition of The Hidden Truth. I'm your host, I'm Priest Kazakia, and once again we have priest and teacher Thahawan Mayam.
Shalom, brothers and sisters.
And we have our reader today, Priest Karataza Achad.
Shalom.
Okay, and once again we're the Hebrew Israelites. You brothers that barely tuned into us, we've been on this show for a while, about what, 3-4 years? But they changed us from Tuesdays to Saturdays, so we have been on this network for a second here. We're the Hebrew Israelites, okay? Hebrew being our language, Israelite our nationality, and what we teach is that these people right here that are scattered throughout the world of Negroid and Indian descent that are calling themselves these names: Negroes, West Indians, Haitians, Dominicans, Panamanians, Puerto Ricans, Cubans, North American Indians, Seminole Indians, people from Argentina to Chile, Colombia to Uruguay, and the Mexicans. You are the true biblical Hebrew Israelites according to the Bible, okay? So that's just for you brothers and sisters that just barely tuned in to us. We also touch on various topics dealing with the Bible, okay? But just to get that straight out there, we don't believe that the Bible is a religious book. Nowhere in the Bible does it say to be a Baptist, a Pentecost, a Seventh-day Adventist, Jehovah's Witness, a Muslim. All those are religions. Doesn't have nothing to do with the Bible, doesn't have nothing to do with the scriptures. But what we do find in the scriptures is that Christ said, go to the children of Israel and tell them about this kingdom of heaven that's finna come. Okay? So our show is based off of first showing our brothers and sisters that you are the Israelites. You are the chosen people. You're the lost sheep. You're the people that have been scattered and called niggas, spicks, spooks, monkeys, wetbags, border jumpers, water beetles. All these names that have been put on you to degrade you, to demeanor you, is the sign, the revealing that you are the chosen people of God. Okay, and that these Israelis or so-called Jews, they are not the true Jews, but you that are calling yourselves of a color, you're calling yourself of a hairstyle, Afro-American, African-American. You're not African-American. Your spirit is nothing like the Africans, okay? Those are heathens, okay? So whether you call yourself Afro-American, Nubian. Nubian's just a head wrap. That's a woman's head wrap. You're none of these things. And you're not a Muslim. Let that be for the Arabs. You're not a Muslim. We're going to have to go over a show on that. You're not a Muslim. To be a Muslim is a religion. You let them have their religion. That's fine. But we serve the one true God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We don't got nothing to do with Islam. Okay? That's for the Arabic people. If they want to believe in the Kaaba stone and they want to believe in their belief, let them. That has nothing to do with you. Just like Buddhism. That has nothing to do with our people.
Right.
Hinduism, that got nothing to do with you. Put that sign up. Put the 12 tribes sign up. Those are all religions. We didn't serve religions. We didn't serve idols. Okay, so put down your false images of Christ, because those are idols. Put down your false pictures, your false pictures of the 12 apostles. Those right there, images are lies. So all these other religions, all these religions, okay, they got nothing to do with the 12 tribes of Israel. You're supposed to be coming back knowing the truth. And we're going to start on today's topic. I guess this is the third part of what Priest Tahawam's been bringing about is on the 12 tribes of Israel. You went over 933 BC.
Right. We went over the division of Israel.
Right.
In 933 BC, where the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom had separated. And then we also covered over 722 BC, about 200 years later, when the northern kingdom was actually taken away captive by the king of Assyria, Shalmaneser.
Right.
And they were taken they were taken captive by boat into Assyria and the territories of the Persians and Medes.
Right.
And then when they fled from him, they went by boat around the southern tip of Africa, down through the southern Americas, you know what I mean? And then they migrated from up there.
So that's what you were going over. You were showing how in the division of Israel, how that the 9.5 tribes got over here to America.
Right.
And when you talk about the 9.5 tribes, just giving them a little catch up of what we've been going over, because we're coming in also touching on Deuteronomy, or we're proving, how do we know that these people specifically that are calling yourself Negroes, Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, how do we know that the children of Israel? So it started from 933 BC. It started from the curses, really,
right, exactly,
of us being scattered throughout the world. And you actually went over on the last shows how from what you have here, from the Dominicans all the way down to the Mexicans, how they got over here to America.
Right.
You went over that.
Yeah.
You proved that.
Right.
You went over the facts, the history.
Just another book I wanted to get in there,
right,
just to kind of recap over it. We know in 722 BC, the kingdom of Israel was taken away captive. That's those 9.5 tribes like the brother was talking about. But this book right here is by Meyer Kaiserling. It's called Christopher Columbus and the Participation of the Jews in Spanish and Portuguese Discoveries. This book right here will show you, and for you people that don't want to trust in the Bible, this will show you through historical evidence that those tribes, when the conquistadors came over,
right,
were speaking Hebrew, had their tools in Hebrew, had different ceremonies and festivals that coincided with the Hebrew calendar. And they had the same beliefs as the Hebrews.
Right. That's why when you look at certain of the artifacts they found over there in New Mexico,
right,
it was written in Hebrew.
Right.
The ancient Hebrew.
Right.
So
and that's with the nation of Gad. If you got the sign back up,
yeah,
the nation of Gad on this sign here, they're the where they found those tablets and things written in ancient Hebrew, which would be the Native American Indians on the sign. So the history is showing you. You so-called Negroes, you West Indians, you Haitians, is showing you through the Bible, through the history, through the archaeological evidence, that everything that we're saying coincides with the scriptures.
Right, right.
That everything that has been found in history coincides with the scriptures.
Right.
See that? So that's where we left off was we were bringing them into 70 AD. Right. And this was after the time of Christ. Christ had died. You have 70 AD or Anno Domini, the year of our Lord. Right, right. And so at the point of 70 AD, we had I'm recapping again, but we talked about that in 70 AD, Titus, that Roman general, with the orders under the orders of his father Vespasian, he came in and conquered Jerusalem. So if you can give me that map of Israel back up there again. he came in and conquered Jerusalem.
And you know what? I'm gonna say this: a lot of things that you're bringing out here is a lot of history we go over in class.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you took time out on the show.
Right.
We like to hit more straight topics.
Right.
Because a lot of people get lost with the history.
Right.
So, me saying that, I'm saying come to class.
Right.
You can get these classes. You know what I mean? For 9 years. You know what I mean? Straight. You know what I mean?
Right. And there it is on the map that she has right there. Jerusalem with the star right there.
But hopefully you will remember. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. But yeah, Jerusalem there with the star is this is what was taken away captive in 70 AD. So Christ had prophesied this, and we're going to go over a few of the prophecies real quick, and then just show you conclusively that these people that used to reside in this area that you see in the blue and the yellow, that the people are those people that we show on the sign every week.
Right.
That we're going to show you that through the scriptures, through the prophecies, and then through also these other books.
Right.
So
so we got the historical evidence because a lot of people are historical buffs.
Right.
Once again, I like to always point out that we trust in the Most High, we trust in the scriptures, and we trust in the evidence of the knowledge.
Right.
But you have a lot of skeptics, a lot of brothers and sisters that do study history, but really don't go deep enough into history to really understand about yourself. You call yourself African American, you call yourself Aztec, Mayans, Incas, but you don't go before that. Because biblically, there's no such thing as black man, Africans. There's no such thing as Aztecs, Mayans, Incas, Toltecs. All these names were adopted after when you talk about 722 BC. You're talking about all the way going down into, you know, I would say during that time we adopted these names because when they came over, what names did we have?
Right.
We had these other adopted names.
Right.
And you went over it because I watched the show when you went over it when it said let's go to another land.
Right.
And follow, and supposedly Israel is coming up with this idea was we're not going to serve God in our land that He gave us. Let's go to another land.
Right.
And that's how the 9.5 got over here. But one of the ideals was we're going to serve Him with our heart in this other land.
Right.
And like Adam, put on cover ourselves with other doctrines and other philosophies.
Exactly.
You know, in other religions like you're doing today. You call yourself whether it's an African American or you're calling yourself American, you're not these things. That's not your ancestry. That's not where you come from.
Yeah, and for brothers and sisters that don't think it matters, because we got a lot of those that, you know, well, that history doesn't matter, the past doesn't matter. You're talking about the past, all this stuff, right? If you go on Google, and now I'm doing that right now, all right? You type in 933 BC, just 933 BC, and let that tell you right there how important this date was. Because when I type it in, that's all you get. The first two references give you, you know, they repeat back what you typed in. After that, it's Solomon, king of Israel, 973 to 933 BC, poems and lyrics. Chronology of Israel, 935 to 800 BC. Solomon again. Zaham, prince of Israel, 933 BC. Shelomith, prince of Israel, 933 BC. All it does, the whole world cares about what happened in 933 BC. Google only cares about what happened in 933 BC regarding Israel. It doesn't say the Chinese were doing this. It doesn't say the Arabs were doing this. Muhammad was doing this.
You know what's powerful about that, brother, is because if we don't really understand 933 BC, we don't understand our history, especially going back into this biblical history, is that we're really not understanding how we got to the 1400s.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? We're not going to understand how this transitioning for us calling ourselves Negro, you know what I mean, or African, we're not going to really understand that.
Right.
So this is why this is important. So read that Deuteronomy 32 verse 7 really quick.
Deuteronomy 32 and verse 7. Remember the days of old.
Forget the past.
Remember the days of old.
Wait a minute. That's all in the past. We just got to worry about the New Testament.
Remember the days of old.
Right. Read.
Consider the years of many generations.
The Most High is telling us, remember the days of old. We are supposed to remember the past because we got to learn from our mistakes. You know, the scriptures tell you in Ecclesiastes, in the Bible, it says there's nothing new under heaven. If we understand that it keeps going around, just like your fads. You got the 80s fad coming back out. right? Everybody wants to cut their hair and get flat tops and wear the big glasses and, you know, wear the MC Hammer pants, or wear the tight jeans or whatever, right? The Most High is showing us that we have to remember the days of old to really understand how this cycle is going to end. And the Most High is showing us. He's showing us in the scriptures. Go back to your to the Old Testament. Go back to your scriptures. You understand why we're in these conditions. You understand where America's going to. See, there's nothing new under heaven. Go ahead, read that.
Consider the years of many generations.
Read.
Ask thy father, and he will show thee.
And that's what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be going to our elders, and they're supposed to be able to tell us, well, listen, bro, you know, and there was, even our elders now, the ones that have died off, the 100-year-old, they're not like the elders that's coming, like the 30-year-old grandma.
Right.
No, it's talking about the old so-called black men, the old so-called Mexican men that really understood. Listen, we were Israelites.
Right.
Because I remember that my dad and his dad told him. You know what I mean? His grandma told him, yeah, we're the Israelites. You know what I mean? And but there's a lot of black people. There's a lot of Native Americans. There's a lot of so-called Hispanics or what you call Mexicans that their fathers knew.
Right.
Their great-grandfathers knew these things. You see what I'm saying? So the scriptures are saying ask them. But now they're not here no more. So what do we got to do? Let's go back to the oldest source. Let's go back to the oldest source and get this history down to really understand about ourselves, that we're not Afro-American, that Christ ain't coming back and he's coming back to redeem the children of Israel.
Exactly.
And do everything he prophesied about. Go ahead.
Ask thy father, and he shall show thee.
There you go. Read.
Thy elders, and they will tell thee.
Right. So this is what the Most High is saying. And this goes back to what you just said. You know, oh, that's not important.
Right.
You know, but the scriptures is saying it's important. Remember the days of old.
Right.
Then he comes back and drops it like this. Read.
When the Most High divided to the nations.
Wait, he gathered everybody together?
When the Most High divided to the nations.
Well, we all bleed the same blood.
When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance.
See, the Most High divided the nations their inheritance. So this is why this is important. And then I'm going to go to the New Testament. You know what I mean? Because for the New Testament, brothers, oh, there's no difference between Jew or Greek. Yeah, but who was he talking to?
Right.
Do you know who he was talking to when he said that? Read.
When he separated the sons of Adam. He set the bounds.
Wait, he gathered the sons of Adam together.
When he separated the sons of Adam.
Listen, if we were all meant to be one people, we wouldn't have nationalities. That's what the scripture just said. Right. If it was meant to be all one people, we would just be the seed of man. Right. But we have nations because that's the way the Most High set up. I'm sorry, don't get upset at me. But that's where the Most High set it up. He set it up for us to have different nationalities, different ancestry, different nations. It's diversity. The Most High loves that. That's beautiful. There's nothing wrong with that. But we're getting some understanding about why the Most High did this. Go ahead.
He set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel.
Right. So he gave the boundaries according to the number of the children of Israel. What does he mean by that? Well, let's read on. We're going to find out. Go ahead.
For the Lord's portion is his people.
Because his people was Israel.
Right.
Read.
Jacob is the lot of his inheritance.
Jacob was the lot of his inheritance. It was, let me set up my children in Israel. And, whoa, you set up in the wrong land there, Hamites. You set up in the wrong land there, Gergesites, Jebusites.
Right.
Go move them out of that land. That's like they moved into the wrong apartment.
Right.
So the Most High said, that's the children of Israel's lot.
Right.
You move out of there because I want you out of it because that's my people's land. So yes, we all come from Adam, but the children of Israel was the Lord's portion. Now we understand. Go to Matthew 10:5-6 really quick. It's on the same topic. I just wanted to bring these scriptures out to show why is it important. We're bringing out the historical evidence that you are not black, you're not Mexican, you're not Puerto Ricans. Those are names that were put on you during captivity and slavery. Okay, you are actually go back to the seed of the nation of Israel. Go ahead.
Matthew chapter 10 and verse 5.
Read.
These 12 Jesus sent forth.
From 10 and 1, he gathers his apostles, gathers them up, and gives them a commandment. Read.
G12, Jesus sent forth.
Go ahead.
And commanded them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles.
See, and this is why it was really important for Christ to make a statement that when he came on the scene, it was to show that don't go to the Gentiles.
Right.
Because it
being
wasn't,
those nations outside of Israel.
Being the nations outside of Israel, don't go to them.
Right, right.
It's not time for them. I want to show you when I put my foot down and I make a stamp in this earth who I came for.
Right.
Read.
And into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not.
Right. So go get a King James Bible. Okay. This is not the Quran. Go get a King James Bible and read it. This is, and don't try to shrub it off like, oh, that's not important what Christ said. That's important too. Just as he said when he died and resurrected, now go to all nations.
Right.
He said, then go to all nations. But when he first came, when he first stepped on the scene, why did he say he went to the children of Israel? And that's what we're forgetting. These are the things we're forgetting, and these religions have forgot. And we're trying to show why it's important. Because the children of Israel, you have to come back. You are the next kings and priests of this world. You are the next government. You are the next governors. The Most High is finna move this kingdom out of the way and watch and look, and it's happening. The peak of homosexuality is coming to its peak. You know what I mean? Through all these religions, churches, Democrats, Republicans, the peak of homosexuality, where the Most High said is becoming Sodom and Gomorrah.
Right.
So don't tell me why is it important that we know we're the children of Israel? Because the Most High said so.
Right.
He's telling us here. Christ said, read.
But go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
He said, but don't go to them. Go to the children of Israel. Read.
And as ye go, preach, saying, the kingdom of heaven is at hand.
Now, we have to understand who the children of Israel are. And that's where the priest is breaking down 933 BC. That's where we're giving you historical evidence that you are not Africans.
Right.
That you're not Hamites.
Right.
But that you are actually of the seed of Abraham. And that these people that conquered you, they stole your identity.
And you know, this is especially true for our people calling themselves Negroes,
right,
and West Indians and Haitians today. If you could throw that sign back up.
There you go.
But that's the nation of Judah back in our time, or back in the Bible times. And what I'm going to do right here is just go to what the Pictorial Bible Dictionary says about Ham.
Right.
Because and I think we might have touched on this a little bit, but this needs to be out there because they need to see that there is a clear separation between Africans, Egyptians, Ethiopians, and the so-called Negro here in America.
There you go.
Between the so-called, especially for Benjamin, because that's Jamaica and the West Indies, the Caribbean islands. They thinking, you know, oh, we're praising Haile Selassie. This man was an Ethiopian.
Ali Selassie.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and they're praising him as if he's the future king of Israel.
Right.
But we didn't have a Cushite or Ethiopian king over Israelites.
Right.
That wasn't done.
Right.
You understand? So I'm going to grab this real quick. It says about Ham. It says, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of the 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor, or what you would call forefather, of the dark races. All right, so he was the forefather of the dark races. So if you stop right there, you're going to say, see, he was the forefather of the dark races. You're all Hamites.
Right.
But it goes on and it says, not the Negroes.
Right.
See that?
Check that out. And so that's perfect for the people that are saying that Noah had 2 white sons.
Right. Right. So even then.
Because then where the hell the Negroes come in then? If we're not of Ham, then where do we come in at?
They're Shemitic. You
right,
know what I mean?
Exactly, exactly.
Let's see. It says, not the Negroes, but, and this is going to tell you what dark races he was the father of.
You know what? Priest, I know we do this a lot, but I'm going to say this. You got to read it again.
Right.
Because people are not getting this, that in the Pictorial Bible Dictionary, the Caucasian man that wrote this dictionary knows historically that we're Shemitic, we're not Hamitic.
Exactly.
And when I say we, put the sign up.
Right.
I mean that these tribes, especially of the tribe of Judah, Benjamin, Levi, you are not Hamites. You are not Africans.
Right.
Let's get that into their head. So read it again.
It says, he became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes, but the Egyptians. So these nations that follow, they're a dark-skinned people,
right,
but they're not Negroes.
Right.
All right. It says the Egyptians, so they're dark-skinned people, not Negroes. Ethiopians, so Haile Selassie is a dark-skinned person,
Right.
but he is not a Negro. And if
Right.
you keep that sign up, that means he is not of the tribe of Judah.
There you go. Thank you.
For you Rastas out there,
Right.
you Rastafarians, he is not the Lion of Judah.
Right.
He is an Ethiopian.
Right. He's a what they call them,
Falasha
Falasha Jews, right?
Right.
Which comes from the root word fallacy,
Right.
false, right? Go
Fake
ahead.
Jew. And then it says Libyans. So the Libyans are dark-skinned, but they are not Negroes.
So really, if they wanted to understand, us Israelites,
Right.
it's not about color.
Right.
It's about the truth.
Well-
so whether they're white people calling themselves Jews, they're not the Jews.
Right.
Whether they're Africans or Ethiopians calling themselves Jews, they're not the Jews.
Right. And-
I can't even call myself a Jew
Right.
in the sense of the tribes.
Right. And
You know what I mean? I'm of the tribe of Gad.
Right.
You're of the tribe of Judah.
Yeah.
So what they don't understand, this goes down a long lineage.
Oh, yeah.
I can't just jump shift.
Right.
That's just like, but you know, this ignorance comes from the stupidity that the Greco-Roman Empire, aka / America,
Right.
has dumbed down our people, and now they're, what's your nationality? Well, I'm part Chinese, I'm part Ethiopian, I'm part, no, you're not.
Right.
We're not dogs. We're not mutts. Nationality by man in the Bible, okay, because that's what we're dealing with, is determined on your father.
Right.
It was determined on the seed. You put an apple seed into a banana field and into a dang a peanut field.
Right.
If you put a apple seed in a peanut field and that earth catches it, it ain't gonna be an apple mixed with a peanut. It's gonna be an apple.
Right.
And this is what the Most High said, the seed within itself in Genesis. So that stupidity, that Greco-Roman Edomite stupidity, man.
What does it say about people's slave mentality that you'll go and let somebody rape your mother,
right,
and then you'll go and claim their nationality, you'll claim their heritage.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna claim a rapist heritage. That don't make no damn sense. You're gonna sit up there and say, okay, these people came over this ocean, raped all my family members, raped my ancestors, and I'm gonna claim their nationality.
Right.
I'm gonna represent them. That don't make sense. You're gonna represent rapists and child molesters and genocidal maniacs.
That's just like if I went in your house,
Right.
raped everybody in your house, and then you go ahead and have a day to thanks of that. Hey, let's thank this day.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then we're gonna name everybody after them.
Right. Smith and
Yeah.
George. What is it? Smith and Jones and
Johnson. And
we didn't
all
have those
that, man.
names. Like Malcolm X was saying, we didn't have those names when we came over here.
Right.
You know what I mean? And most of the books that we're bringing out, they're telling you that we had Hebrew names. Whether you're the 9.5 tribes that left in 722 BC,
right,
or you're the 2.5 tribes that came over in the 1600s, you didn't have a African name, you didn't have a English name, a Christian name.
Yeah.
You had a Hebrew name.
Yeah, let's go into that. I'm done with that. I just wanted to open up with that to show why the importance of. But let's bring out some more of these facts before this time runs low.
Right. This is a excerpt from a book. It's called The Sails of Hope, and this is by Simon Wiesenthal. So these names you hear writing these books are the fake Jews.
Right, exactly.
Writing these books showing you that you're the true Jews.
Right.
All right. It says the names Cuba and Haiti were, to Rodin's mind, of Hebrew origin. He believed that much of the basic vocabulary and the common names in use among the Indians likewise came from the Hebrew. Thus, he argued, the word hyena, water, came from the Hebrew mayim, spring, Jonas from Jonah, Yake from Jacob, Urias from Urias, and he goes on with this list of names. The Indians had been required to practice frequent ritual washings in rivers and springs.
Right.
They had been forbidden to touch the dead.
Right.
These are all Hebrew laws.
Right, all Hebrew. And then it goes into the lost tribes and promised lands, which I don't know why I don't have it here today.
Right, right.
It goes into that because you have Who wrote that again?
Fray Diego Duran.
No. The Lost Tribes.
James Adair.
James Adair.
Right.
By James Adair. But the Lost Tribes and Promised Land says the same thing.
Right.
That's showing you that the rituals of the Native Americans,
right.
the rituals of what, put the sign up real quick. And when we say Native Americans, remember, we're not only talking about the North American Indians, we're talking about you that call yourself Aztecs, Mayans, Incas, Toltecs, Olmecs, right?
Inhabited the Americas, which is North, Central, and South. So that's America, that's Central America, that's South America, from the tip of New York to the bottom tip of Chile and Argentina. That we inhabited all of that.
So these books are saying that they were practicing the Hebrews' rituals because why? They were the Hebrews.
They are.
We just proved. You proved that not on this one if you just tuned in. But you proved last year on the show before that how the 9.5 tribes, and when I say 9, well, I'll just say 9 or 10 tribes. I'll say 9 tribes. And when I say that, I'm talking about the so-called Spanish-speaking tribes. And when I say Spanish-speaking, because those were the ones, because you're not Spaniards.
Right.
Okay, so don't get... They get proud over their little language.
Right.
You were conquered. Just like the so-called Negroes, you conquered with English. The West Indians were conquered with, who was it? French? No, not...
It was French, yeah.
It was French.
The Haitians.
And then the Haitians was French, right? So we got to understand that...
French and British.
British, that's what I was looking for, the British. So when you understand that you 9 tribes, you 10 tribes, you historically... The evidence is showing that you followed the customs of Israel because you were.
Right. Mm-hmm.
See?
This is another excerpt. This is from the same book here that I'm holding here.
Wow.
By Meyer Kaiserling, but it says Christopher Columbus, he was also very fond of reading the Bible and the 4th book of Ezra, which we read to y'all last time. This book right here, the Apocrypha, has the 1st and 2nd Esdras, which are the 3rd and 4th books of
and that's
Ezra.
when they took it out.
Right.
Because if you look up the Bible originally, it had it in there.
Right.
But they take it out because there's history that's in there.
Right. And it says, and the 4th book of Ezra, which was probably written by a Jew who lived outside of Palestine, according to his own assertion, the incentive that impelled him to plan his discoveries was not a love of science, but his interpretation of the prophecies of Isaiah. In Portugal, Columbus earnestly conceived the idea of making maritime discoveries by the way of the West. So he knew from reading the Bible that the earth was not flat, that you were not going to fly off the edge of the earth. He knew from reading Isaiah, where it talks about the circle of the globe, that the earth was round. And he also knew from 2nd Esdras that we read to y'all last week about that they went to another land. They were actually looking for the lost tribes of the nation of Israel, and that's what we needed those other books. But he tells you that in I think it's History of the West Indies and New Spain that he tells you that they knew that those were the lost tribes of the nation of Israel, that those people over there before they sent Columbus, before King Ferdinand and Isabella sent Columbus over, they sent him to destroy the lost tribes of Israel and to bring on the last days.
Right.
And that's what's crazy is. We're over here sitting here acting like, oh, he discovered everything. And, they just were ignorant and he accidentally bumped into America. And, okay, he accidentally bumped into a new world and destroyed everybody that was there. No, that doesn't happen by accident. You have a purpose. You have a plan.
Yeah, and you know what this goes back to as, I don't know if we're going to be able to get into it today, but Deuteronomy. Right. It goes right into that to show why.
Right.
Because once we understand all this, we understand it was a plan of the Most High.
Right.
And that the 12 tribes of Israel, we disobeyed the commandments of the Most High. So the Most High used this vile animal, this vile man, rapist, child molester, homosexual to destroy from the Spaniards to the English to the French. You know what I mean? Excuse me. Let me correct myself. From the Spanish Caucasian, French Caucasian, English Caucasian.
Right. Because the original inhabitants of all those lands were not Edom, or they were not Caucasians. Right. But they were all dark skinned. But the Caucasians took them over.
The Caucasians took them over, exactly. And that the Most High put this man over us because we disobeyed the commandments of the Most High.
Right.
You know, so where are you going from here?
I actually want to give one more scripture in Matthew 25, verse 32. And this is, again, for those of you Israelites, for you, especially y'all Baptists, the real hard-headed out there. For a lot of y'all different Catholic, y'all stuck in the religion. You know what I mean? I don't want to pinpoint everybody specifically, but you're real hard-headed and you want to say that this doesn't matter, all right? About the color, about the nationality, and what does that matter? I'm an American. This is what Christ said on the subject. Read Matthew 25, verse 32.
Matthew 25 and verse 32. And before him shall be gathered all nations.
So Christ is indeed.
Read 31. Read 31.
Okay, go ahead, go ahead.
Verse 31. When the Son of Man shall come in his glory, and all the holy angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory.
See that? So when Christ comes back at the very end of everything, all right, this is the end of the book he's given you. When he comes back, read.
And sit upon the throne of his glory.
Read.
And before him shall be gathered all nations.
So just like you all dreamed, he's going to gather all nations together. Everyone's going to be all huddled up together, right? Your little white boys will be sitting right next to little black girls, and all that Martin Luther King BS, right, is all going to come to pass. And then what's going to happen when all the nations are gathered together? Read.
And he shall separate.
He shall do what?
Separate.
No, he's going to let them join hand in hand.
He shall separate.
Wait, no. They're going to have parades and be like hugged up on each other.
He shall separate them.
He's going to separate them. He's going to separate the nations. He didn't say the people. He's going to separate one from the other, the righteous from the wicked. He's talking about nations.
Right.
Nationalities are going to be separated.
Right. I got one right with that.
Right. Read on.
One from another.
Right. One from another. Go ahead.
As shepherd divideth his sheep from the goats.
Right. As a shepherd divideth his sheep from the goats.
So let me say this. You liars, you lying, filthy pastors and preachers, shame on you for saying that we're all spiritual Israelites. No.
Right.
There's nobody. That's like me saying I'm spiritually Chinese. That's ignorance. Nobody can be a spiritual nationality.
Right.
We're not spiritual. We are actually the descendants of our forefathers.
Well, yeah, there are spiritual, traders in nationality. They call them sellouts. You know
right.
What I mean? you Uncle Tom.
Yeah.
Niggas, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
The sell out your own people and join the police force and beat down your own people. Those are, you're a spiritual, spiritual white man or a spiritual Chinese man.
That's true.
Any of these other nations that have oppressed us, you're just helping them out.
Yeah.
So in that, yeah, you can be spiritually some other nation, but you can't be, when Christ comes down, he's going to separate your spirituality from the real nation of Israel.
Let me throw in a little wrench into this, a little spiritual wrench in this. Go to Revelation 7, verse 1. And I want to throw this in there to show everybody, show brothers and sisters. And I guess we're touching on really the importance of all this historical evidence that you've been bringing out, the importance of why we have to know we're Israel. But if this is going to bring a little more understanding to brothers and sisters, read that Revelation 7 and 1. I want to say this. We're live here every Saturday at 8 o'clock. You can call in. You can text us when the number comes on the screen. We're going to start back our street speaking Saturdays at 10 next weekend on 1000 Main. Okay, and we do have local classes on the address.
8524 South Braeswood Boulevard.
Okay.
Me. It's right there on the bottom of the screen.
There
That's
you go.
in Houston, Texas. All right.
Right.
77070, I believe.
Okay.
If you have to Google it or map.
So they can come to class, and we just opened up our school. So right now we're getting all these things prepared for you, brothers and sisters. So I just wanted to throw that in here.
Right.
So and let me say this: we are bringing out this information of all Israel, of the Israelites, but we welcome anybody to come to class. We welcome we welcome Caucasians to come to class. If you're going to teach the truth, come to class. Whether it's Chinese, you know what I mean? You come to class. We welcome you. But this is what we're upset about mainly in the spirit of Christ is that the truth won't be taught. These religions are not teaching our people that they're chosen people and that they're the next kings and priests of the earth and that the Lord is going to use you to get the world right. That's what the prophecies say. And they leave these important things out and act as though the scriptures don't bring them out. And it's important for our people to know who you are, to empower you, to empower your children, to empower your family and your nation, to come out of the drugs, the gangs, the defilement, trusting in Obama, trusting in Pharaoh like he's going to save you, trusting in these politics. Man, do your history. American politics have been set up for hundreds of years, have yet instilled the dream is still trying to come true. Why? Because that's exactly what it is. It's only a dream.
And those politics have destroyed every other nation that used the same politics. Germany got destroyed when Hitler took everybody's guns and took over it. They're destroyed. Rome, same thing, same politics, democracy, Republicans, that's gone.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we're trusting in those same old tactics that destroyed nations.
Right.
It doesn't make sense.
Same ideals.
Right.
Same ideals that George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, all the way on up, these different presidents had these different ideals, but yet still America ain't got it together after 100 years because it ain't going to get it together. Look at the scriptures and you will get these things. It'll become clear to you. Read that, Revelation 7 and verse 1.
Revelation 7 and 1. And after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth.
Right, so these angels we're going to find out are the 4 angels that the Most High set up to hold back the destruction until a certain point. Read. That the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea. Read. Nor on any tree. Right, now this wind is going to, the scripture is going to explain what the wind is. Read. And I saw another angel ascending from the east. Read. Having the seal Ezekiel 9 and 4. Of the living God. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea. Right, so and it says in verse 2, and I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God. So what was that seal? Read Ezekiel 9 verse 4.
Ezekiel chapter 9 and verse 4. And the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof.
That seal, that is the same thing as we know this mark. Just as you have the mark of the beast, you have the seal and you have the mark of the Most High. So he was saying, this angel came and said, and he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, read.
Saying, in a loud voice.
No. It says, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea. So this angel that had this seal said, don't hurt the earth, don't destroy the earth, don't destroy the sea. Now, what we're finding out is this prophecy has happened. It's happening. Because what just happened over there in what was it, Korea or Japan, that the meltdown, they had the meltdown of the dang
nuclear reactor.
The nuclear reactor. Okay. And what happened to the water? The water, the seas got hurt. We already know the earth is getting hurt. Earthquakes, famines, pestilence. Now, listen. And we don't usually go over this on the cable show because this is something for class. But the Most High is saying that this wasn't going to happen until a certain point. Read.
Till we have sealed.
Until what?
We have sealed.
We have did what?
We have sealed.
This seal, which is this mark, was this, as this process is happening. See, something else was going to be happening. The destruction was going to be held back. So put it together, brothers and sisters. The Most High is saying that destruction will not happen until they have what?
We have sealed.
Read.
The servants of our God.
Now listen to this. See, this is why they don't want to teach you that you are the Israelites. This is why they don't want to teach you that you're the chosen people of God. Because they know the prophecies. They've been trying to hold back the prophecies of God for many hundreds of years. Why? Because they know when the children of Israel are sealed, their reign is over. Right. Their time is coming to an end. And that's what we've been doing. It ain't about numbers, because listen to what the scriptures are saying. Read.
We have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads.
Read.
And I heard the number of them which were sealed.
Read.
And there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel.
Wait a minute. Of all nations.
Of the children of Israel.
Right. Listen, the first focus on this chapter, the first focus on this point was that the children of Israel were going to be sealed. So why would you say it's not important?
Right.
That we're children of Israel. You're not understanding that what the Most High has set up compared to what you have set up is nothing. What the Most High plans are is nothing. And this is why we have to really understand the importance of you knowing this historical evidence.
Right.
All these scriptures and all this archaeology that the brother's been bringing out. Read.
Of the tribe of Judah.
Of the what?
Tribe of Judah.
Read.
Were sealed 12,000.
Read.
Of the tribe of Reuben.
You get the point. It goes all the way down to the 12 tribes of Israel. See? And then it goes down and says, yes, and after this I beheld and lo, a great multitude that no man could number of all nations and kindreds and peoples and tongues stood before the great throne. Why? Because there are going to be some nations that's going to be there.
Right.
Who else is going to build our kingdom? The nations. So the Most High, but it's important for you to know that 12,000 of the children of Judah, you will be the governing body. 12,000 of the tribe of Benjamin, 12,000, put that sign back up. And this is why it's important. This is why we constantly point this out, that you children of Israel, you got to get your act together. Because as you see this destruction happening, you're either going to be the chosen or you're going to be on the side of destruction.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Now, what do you believe in? You putting your trust in Pharaoh? You putting your trust in this economy and this system and your little 9 to 5 and $9 an hour? Or are you really putting your trust in the Most High? You trying to listen to what Pastor Gimme Mo Money says, that we supposed to come down and pray for the corrupt, the corruption, the chaos, the corrupt system, the corrupt kingdom?
Right.
I'm sorry, man, but go ahead, where are we at?
No, it need to be brought out. I actually want to bring out one on that.
Okay.
I
wanted to bring it out because all this evidence, they try to shove it off and say, oh, it's not important.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we got to show them there's many scriptures to show why it's significant to understand the children of Israel need to be taught, need to be shown.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Now, this is Isaiah chapter 60. If you can grab that real quick. And start at verse 10.
Isaiah 60 and 10, right?
Mm-hmm. Got it?
Isaiah 60 verse 10. And the sons of the strangers shall build up the walls.
Right. So what it's saying is, yes, there will be other nations in the kingdoms. When it's talking about strangers, it's talking about these nations outside of Israel. Mm-hmm. There will be other nations in the kingdom. But what will they be doing?
Build up thy walls.
They'll be building our walls, like you so-called Mexicans be building up all their mansions and building up all their homes now and don't live in them. And that's one of the curses we were going to go through in Deuteronomy chapter 28. That y'all build up their houses and you don't lie in them. You don't live in them. You know what I mean? Y'all getting 2-3 jobs building their nation, building their houses. And what they do, put you back on the street corner outside of Home Depot.
Right.
They want to look down on you. They want to call you, try to get you out of
border
their country.
Jumpers. Right, exactly.
Read on.
Right. And I'm going to say this. When you go to, we impel you to read from verse 1 because it's powerful. It says, for behold, the darkness shall cover the earth and gross darkness the people. The Lord shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee. And the Gentiles shall come to thy light, and the kings to thy brightness, and to thy rising. When they read that, the Gentiles, they're going to come in. Yes, they are. Verse 10, and the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls. You're right. The Gentiles are going to come to our light.
Right.
They're going to come to our rising. Yes, they are going to be there.
Right.
To build up thy walls.
Well, read verse 12. Verse 12.
Verse 12. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish.
Right, so he's going by nationality again. He's saying the nation and kingdom that will not serve you Israelites will perish. So if it's a so-called white man that's too prideful to say, you know what, I'm going to serve these black men now. I'm going to serve these Mexican men now.
Just like we did. Right. Just like the border jumpers, the niggas, the spics, serve and build your kingdom.
Right.
The Most High said, this is a prophecy.
Yeah.
This has not happened.
Right.
The Most High said this is going to happen. When has it happened yet? It hasn't.
Right.
So we're looking forward to that.
Right. That's what, again, Christopher Columbus was taking stock in these prophecies.
Right.
You know what I mean? Was knowing that these people were the Israelites, and that's why they came over here. They knew, okay, we got to kill them. We can't go back and serve them.
Right.
You know what I mean? This Bible says we're going to serve those people.
We got to do away with them.
Right.
We got to wipe them from the planet of the earth. But you know what? I'm going to say this. Now, just a little key point, a little Jew to throw in there. Brothers and sisters, now go to the New Testament and look up where it was quoted that the Gentiles shall come to that light, and you will really get it in the true perspective of what it was saying. Because now you can go back to the Old Testament and reference what was he talking about when the Gentiles were going to come to the light. The scriptures is telling you through the whole chapter. In verse 10, and the sons of the stranger shall build up thy walls, and their king shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee. It says, therefore thy gate shall be open continually. They shall not be shut night or day or night. That men shall bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles, that their kings shall be may be brought.
Right. So all their major forces, all their Army, Navy, Marines, Special Forces, all their kings, their leaders are going to be brought to Israel. They're going to be brought under our light.
Well, another thing I wanted to say this, and I know we're going off into, this, about this new kingdom, but it's important to really understand that this is what the Most High has planned.
Right.
He planned this for the chosen. He planned this for the children of Israel. Right. This is, brothers and sisters, this is going to happen on earth as it is in heaven. The earth will be in order. You know what I mean? I just want to say that because we were taught in religions, oh, you're going to die to get to the kingdom of heaven.
Right.
That is the kingdom of God.
Right.
But the kingdom of God will be on earth as it is in heaven.
Right.
You want me to finish up?
Yeah, yeah.
Therefore thy gates shall be open continually, they shall not be shut day nor night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles, and their kings shall be brought unto thee. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish.
Right. So again, they will be there, but if they're not there in servitude, if they're there in pride, if they're not following the law, statutes, and commandments of God in Christ, they will perish. They'll be killed. Read.
Yea, those nations shall be utterly waste.
They will be utterly wasted. There will be no more Chinese. There will be no more Indians. There will be no more Arabs if they will not serve Israel.
And this is what they're not understanding, why it was so important for them to wipe us clean from the earth. We're going to wipe their name from the earth.
Right.
You are never going to think. When's the last time you think chosen? I'm a nigga. I'm a spick. I'm a wetbag. I'm not chosen. Right. Just give me my 9 to 5 and big screen TV.
That's why they want us in Islam and all these other
Hold on, my
religions.
Nigga. Hold on, my nigga. Listen. They just legalized marijuana. You trying to... That's all I need. This is the damn stupidity of our people.
Yep.
Man, I'm getting paid $14 an hour. You talking about chosen, Israelite. Nigga, look how funny you are. That's the stupidity of our people. Because they want to take a block and we want to take the world.
Right.
And we're not saying we're going to get guns because this ain't going to happen like that. Right. This is going to happen through Christ coming back. So this is why it's important we learn our history. Right. It's important we learn what happened to us. We got 8 minutes left. I know we ain't going to be able to go over Deuteronomy, but what you want to touch on?
Well, like I said, I was bringing out these different books here. And this one was major because I just got a hold of this. But he talks about, the different tribes, the different peoples and these different conquistadors that came over. And, I'm just going to read these little excerpts as the show is closing out. But this one here is page 96 of Christopher Columbus and the Participation of the Jews.
Yeah, show them the book right there. Put the book up there.
So that's this book right here, Christopher Columbus and the Participation of the Jews in the Spanish and Portuguese discoveries. All right. And it's page 96. It says, Montesinos, who possessed the manuscripts of Luis Lopez, the learned bishop of Quito, was convinced that the Peruvians were of Jewish origin. So if you have, if there's a map up there with Central America, or at least this Western Hemisphere, you could put that up. But
put the 12 tribes sign up.
The Peruvians will be in about northern South America. All right. So he was convinced that the Peruvians were of Jewish origin. It says the view of Rodin and of Gregorio Garcia that the Aborigines of America, talking about North, Central, and South, were descendants of the Jews, was maintained with many arguments in one and the same year, 1650, independently by the Englishman Thorogood and by the Portuguese Jew Manasseh ben Israel.
Right, and the Peruvians will come up to Argentina and Chile? Or is that...
Right, the Peruvians will be considered, let's see, Zebulon.
Asher. They would be considered Asher, Colombia to Uruguay.
There you go. Right. Yeah, I needed the map up there because that's where we get to see it clear. But
yeah, where's that map at?
It says, a renowned rabbi of Amsterdam who induced Cromwell to allow the Jews to return to England. A Portuguese Marano of Villaflor, who, strange to say, also called himself Montesinos and afterwards assumed the name Aaron Levi, informed Manasseh that he had mingled in South America with Jews of the 10 tribes.
Right. You know what's powerful about this is that, see, this is why the Most High said, go to all nations. Right. Because you got a lot of our people over there white as hell. Yeah. You would never know that they're Israelites. Right. So it's not about, it was about reaching the chosen. Right. You see what I'm saying? And that's where a lot of Israelite brothers, I think we lack, a lot of Israelite groups lack the understanding that there's no way we're going to reach Israel if we think there's just going to be one shade. Right. You know what I mean? We gotta go to all nations because that's where our people are scattered. All nations. And we're going to lose it. We're going to lose them. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah. But that's powerful right there, man. That's a beautiful book. Yeah. And, you know, just, you know, what we were going to go into, you know, what we're going to go into either next show to give you the recap of everything. You know, we know 933 BC is split, right? Israel split. 722 BC, you tribes, if you can throw that tribe sign up there, y'all 9.5 tribes, that's talking about from half of the tribe of Levi. When I say 9.5, that's half of a tribe of Levi. And then the other 9 tribes from Simeon down to Issachar. You came over here into the Southern Americas in about 722, 723 BC. All right. So, and that's all, we explained that in the show before. You can find that in the scriptures. That's the same place Christopher Columbus found it, in the Apocrypha, 2nd Esdras, chapter 13, verse 40 on down. Wow. All right. And now this show that's coming up, we're going to explain that in 70 AD, and you can all write this down or record it. In 70 AD, Titus, the Roman general, under the orders of his father Vespasian, came in and conquered Jerusalem. If you can put that sign back up, the 2.5 tribes, all right, so now we're talking about Judah, Benjamin, and the other half of the tribe of Levi, right? The 2.5 tribes fled down into the interiors of Africa, where they were at constant war with the Africans and Arabs for over 1,500 years. So you take 70 AD, you add another 1,500 years, it brings you to the 1600s. Right. 1620 is the official start of the transatlantic slave trade. Right. So that's what we're going to be going into. Hopefully next show, if we can get to that. If not, come to class. Come through and get it in class. You know, again, we're at 8524 South Braeswood Boulevard. Right. And put the school number up on there. The last 2 minutes. Yeah, we're about a good five blocks 5 blocks north of Club Rhythms and all the Little Haiti and everything like that. So you Benjamites, you Haitians, you come on through, come see us. 8524 South Braeswood. Let me ask this: do we got an email? I want the email. Do we got our email up there? Because brothers and sisters can email us. Yeah, Lost Tribes 144. We're using that one right there. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. We can use that one. Lost Tribes 144, 144,000 at where? AOL.com. Okay, we could use that for meanwhile, but we have another one up there. But we need a. Well, you brothers and sisters, you can email us if you have any questions, comments, if you want us to go over a show. But we thank y'all for tuning in to us, and we like to say shalom, which is peace. Shalom.